Hi,
It's
Larry.
it's pretty exciting. You see, I'm kind of ready for Thanksgiving and Christmas or whatever comes along here, and that's one of the reasons that that the Decorative Painters Academy has started up this marketplace because there's so many people that aren't able to see the exhibitors like we used to. Now they'll be able to see the videos and they get a little bit of a feeling when they look at buying a packet. They at least get a chance to buy the packet from Paula. They don't buy the packet from a website. Uh, but it's really a new venture, and I don't think it would have come about uh, without the virus. Now, can't think of any good reason to come about the virus, but um, it's going to be for business members only, and and I think all along the business members do need something. Uh, how long have you been a member of SDP?
I have been a member since 1976, and I have proof because this is my first magazine in black and white.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Uh, and how many copies of the DP do you have? Do you have them all?
I have them all, every
Uh,
one of
I happen to be sitting in a room that has them all also.
Oh my.
and uh, and we actually had to find a few. We had two or three that somehow vanished from 40 years ago, but we got them all organized now. Uh, so, what actually brought you into SDP?
Well, I'll tell you, I had started a craft shop, and I had some ladies come in and said, "Would you like to go do toll painting with us?" I had no idea what it was. They were buying supplies, and I said, "Sure enough." And she had a sister who lived in Omaha, Nebraska. I lived in Lincoln, Nebraska, 50 miles away. We went up to Ann Kingsland, beautiful toll painting shop, and I immediately signed up for classes. And it was through Ann and her painting style that promoted decorative painting, but toll painting at that time.
Isn't that interesting? Because uh, Cheryl lived in Grand Island at that time.
Oh, that's what I remember.
Yeah, just down the road. Uh, so, how long then uh, have you been a business member?
Probably only for the last 10 years. When I started travel teaching and we started attending the conventions, the first year I had a booth only. I didn't do any teaching. And then the next year I submitted teaching projects. And I think that was about 10 years ago. So I was slow to join as a business member.
Are you managing your packets by yourself, or you got help collating and photographing or anything?
My precious husband helped me until his passing a year and a half ago. And he was my right hand man and my techie man, but I do it all now. He trained me well.
You're totally doing it yourself. Uh, there's so many times I've been talking to a lot of different people, and I'm finding out things that started out to be a cottage type business, and lo and behold, they turn into a full time occupation. And do you have students now in your area?
I teach 5 classes a week, and right now we're doing it all on Zoom. I shouldn't say that. I have some kind of a hybrid classroom. So some come into the studio, some paint on Zoom, but almost 60 students every week. So 5 classes a week.
Do you have when you're doing the Zoom classes, do you have people in the studio at the same time?
Yes. And I have an amazing system that my techie grandson set up for me. It's a capture card that allows me to project on the screen at the same time I'm projecting on Zoom. And so I can zoom in and out with this amazing little techie device.
It's pretty interesting that you're doing that, because we're doing the same thing in this studio here. Cheryl just had students here and students there, so it's pretty exciting to get to learning about Zoom as it all comes about. What would you say is your main line of products?
Well, for my travel teaching, absolutely are DVDs. They're all step by step, and they're just like being in a live classroom. So I take them and edit them. So they're about 2 hours long, but it covers all the technique and theory regarding colored pencils. So that's what I have done travel teaching, even though in my home studio here, I teach a lot of oils, a lot of watercolor, some acrylics, but traveling, it's truly colored pencils.
Well, that's pretty interesting. So when you started, did you start in oil?
I did start in oils because I think they only had 5 acrylic paint colors for base coating. maybe a few more.
Well, that's pretty interesting, because how long ago was it that you changed to primarily colored pencil?
Probably about 12 years ago. I just really fell in love with it. And I wanted to, when I started travel teaching, I wanted to do some medium that wasn't oversaturated. And colored pencils were very new at that time. And my style was quite different from the few other teachers out there. And so it was just very well embraced by all of the students in our conventions.
Do you market paper and pencils and all of the things that go with it then?
Only when I go to conventions. We do have some paper surfaces, a lot of great suede board surfaces, and some of the me-tint paper that I like to use for colored pencils on the website. I don't sell wholesale or on my website the colored pencils, just simply because they can buy them cheaper from one of the online art supply companies. But when I go to a convention, I travel with all of the supplies, and that makes it more convenient for people to stop by our booth, and if they forgot a color, they can get them there from me. Also, we carry a lot of other product to support colored pencil design work. And so I carry the sharpeners and the dust brushes, the erasers.
That is the plan with the marketplace, is to have our business members feature 4 to 6 items, and then when people come in to look at the items, they'll be able to click a link and go directly to your website. And that's what we want them to do. We want them to be inside the store. And so clicking a link puts them right inside the store. Then once they're there, we hope they stick around and look around. It's kind of like going into a store and wandering around in a store. So many times people have tough time getting into a website because they don't understand what's happening. But once they're in there, they can move around real nicely. So I'm sure you've talked to the other people on the committee and got your, they know what you're going to want to sell, and they get the links all organized. These videos are going to be viewed by the public. This isn't going to go only to SDP members. And so you'll have 4 to 6 products to share, and everybody will click on a link and get to go right to the product. I'd like to thank you very much for doing the interview. Our plan is to add more business people. We're not going to be taking somebody off and replacing you. We're going to be adding more people. And also, we will be getting a hold of you later to change your items so that you can
Oh, good.
take things off and put new things on. Um, it really should be good. Were you going to say something, Cheryl?
I was just wondering if she had any favorite memories from
Do you
all
have
those
any
years.
favorite memories from the industry?
Oh my goodness. You know, as I opened up the decorative painter and I saw who was president that year, do you remember who was president in 76?
70.
Our beloved Doxy Keller.
Ah,
And
Oh,
I said, when we first started, Larry, attending conventions, we were the newcomers, and we thought we wouldn't know people, we wouldn't be embraced, but it was quite the opposite. And fact, our first convention was so special, and my husband wasn't able to go, and I needed something to put something together, and they said, go ask Larry. Larry has everything you would ever need. And you always do. So we were so warmly welcomed. You know, there wasn't any competition feeling. It was just a family. And that's actually what I love about the decorative painters, just welcoming and embracing all our different talents and mediums.
it's really pretty interesting that you would wind this interview down like that, because that is a feeling of many, many, many of the vendors and business members, because it is a big family. If somebody called me and said uh, uh, years ago Vi Thurman was in trouble, she had a tremendous rain in Des Moines, Iowa, and the water was going in her basement, and her basement was full of all those beautiful cards with all them animals on, dogs on them and stuff. You know, you just go help because everybody is a family member. So uh, it's really heartwarming that that's one of the things that you remember. So I need to thank you very much, and uh, I'm sure that some of the other girls on the committee will be talking with you about uh, your items and adding and subtracting and uh, putting new things on. So
we look forward to seeing it.
have a great day, and we look forward to seeing you after this uh, crazy, crazy environment that we're living in right now.
Hey, and I look forward to going shopping on everybody else's little websites. So I look forward to seeing all the hard work you all have put in. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.